Yeah.
Hi, my name is Justin Simons. This is my third speech for my public speaking class. I will be explaining why and persuading the audience why creationism should be taught in the classroom. The most beautiful system of the sun, planets, and comets could only proceed from the counsel and dominion of an intelligent and powerful being. Isaac Newton said this, and as you know, he's one of the most renowned scientists in history. So even he, as a scientist, believes that there is something that made the universe. Schools worldwide should have the freedom to give students a choice between believing and being educated either in creationism or evolution or any other scientific reasoning as to how human beings were created, how life originated, things like this, and humankind. I chose this topic for my speech based on my personal faith in God. With so many directions and theories being pulled towards students, students being as young as they are don't really know which way to go as far as the deepest questions in life. How did life originate? Where did we come from? How did this all happen with the universe? So as a result, this creates a lot of confusion. And so what I'd like to do tonight for this speech is to explain why this all makes more sense if creationism is true and things like evolution is not. Therefore, why creationism should be taught in the classroom. I've chosen 3 sources for my speech tonight: the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, The Guardian, an American magazine called Mother Jones, and of course, the Holy Bible. I will be discussing 3 points that support my speech of why creationism is necessary to be taught in class. The first point is about why creation is not already taught in class, and if it ever will be. The second point is to explain why it's just plain easier to believe in creationism. And the final point is why evolution is flawed and that it has no proof of being correct. So why is creationism not being taught in public schools already? And will it ever be? Well, the reason being is the U.S. Constitution forbids it because it's defined as the separation of church and state. So the government basically mandates why creationism and the church and anything about it should not be taught in a public-funded, state-funded system. So that's why. However, there's currently no viable solutions for creationism to be taught in the regular public school curriculum right now. However, there is hope in the future for this, as the scientific field progressively comes to a compromise with creationism. And this can create more theories such as intelligent design, as to why a higher being would have created the universe and life, etc. As an English scientist named Ashley Montagu succinctly put it one time, science has proof without any certainty. So creationists have certainty without any proof. It's much easier to believe in God to have created mankind in the universe. So because of this, people in general take more comfort in knowing that there's a God who designed everything and everybody, rather than evolution, which is more about disorder and confusion. Because with evolution, you don't know if an amoeba on a rock created a reptile to create a primate who created a human. It just seems too perfect of a system that we have now to have that basis, and I'll get into that in just a minute. For example, when somebody becomes very ill and they're very sick and they're going to die and they're lying on their deathbed, they're not thinking about, evolution, how human beings came to be. They're thinking more about the afterlife and God. So why is that? Well, because I think that, I honestly think that because we all have a burning question inside us where are we going to go after this? Well, people with faith already know that. People without faith, they're still questioning it. So, for what can be known about God is plain to them, because God has shown it to them. For his invisible attributes, namely his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived, ever since the creation of the world and the things that have been made, so they are without excuse. This is in the Holy Bible, Romans 1:19 through 20. Evolution is flawed and it's just not proven to be correct. Why is that? If evolution is taken as gospel to some people, no pun intended, to a lot of students out there, then how can they answer the question of where life originated from? I haven't heard any valid answers of an evolutionist answering that question. The Holy Bible answers this tremendous question in 10 words. In the very first verse of the Bible, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Genesis 1:1. How can evolution answer the emotional factor as well? So, if evolution came from primates to human beings, etc., then how can anybody that's an evolutionist explain things like emotion? Even animals get angry and they work off of instincts, but what about forgiveness? Does an animal forgive? Does an animal love? Of course they love. The mother loves the children animals, right? But there's more, human beings though are different than animals because we have more complex emotions. And evolution just can't explain that. But the Bible mentions that all over the book. This makes a vast amount of sense more to a human being to think the creationist way than the evolutionist way. So in conclusion, hopefully I've made it understandable. I'm going over why it makes more sense for creationism to be taught in public schools. We've gone over why creationism isn't already taught in schools, and if it ever will be. That it's much easier to believe that God created the universe and all life in it. And why evolution is flawed and incorrect by not answering life's most important questions. Just to be clear, I'm not in no way advocating that evolution should not be taught in biology classes and things like this. I still think it's a complex and information-rich subject. However, I firmly believe that every student in a public school system should be given the choice when they schedule their classes, or they have their classes at the beginning of the school year. Can I go the evolutionist route or the creationist route in science class? We just want our younger generation to just be educated on where life's biggest questions come from. And so I firmly believe that the education for the development of a human being is just too important to not have choices. And so I'll leave you with this. For from him and through him and for him are all things. To him be the glory forever. Amen. Romans 11:36. Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't time it. Was it about